All right, drone video for 16.75 acres. This is tract 6. Beautiful property. You're going to see about a 500 foot private driveway leading well back into the big timber, a cleared site for building or camping or hunting or whatnot. This has power crossing directly over it. It's got a little stream crossing directly over it. Probably a seasonal stream. Okay, tract 6, there we go. Again, it's pretty close to 17 acres, 16.75 acres. It is surveyed with the corners marked, so you're covered there. Just all in all, a pretty awesome property. Mature timber, so we're looking north. That's the private driveway. In addition to having the hardwood trees, the red oak, the white oak, the hickory trees, this has quite a bit of mature pine on it as well. Big pine trees. So like the kind of stuff that you would use building a log cabin or a log home, which is pretty awesome. We're looking essentially northerly at the property. We're going to do a full flyover here. This is about a 10-minute video, so I think we're going to get a pretty good look. It looks like it was cloudy when this video was taken, but we're still going to get a good look at the property itself. Look at all those mature trees. Looks like the pine trees are the tallest. They're kind of the darker green trees that you can see. Now, obviously, once the property's been paid for in full, you could log it, you could use the trees to build a log cabin or a home, you could mill it into lumber. I mean, all those options when the property's been paid for in full. But in the meantime, the trees are just growing larger. So the longer you wait, the more impressive your log home or cabin will be in this case. It's worth quite a bit of money to have your raw materials on site. If you've ever priced full log cabin logs and having them prepped and delivered to your site, it's tens of thousands of dollars. It's extremely expensive. So in this case, you've already got your trees on site and they're getting bigger generally every month and year. Phone is going crazy here. Thought I had that on silent. So we're going northerly. You can see the pines, you can see the hardwoods, and at some point we're going to run into that site. But it is really tucked in there. When the guys did the site, because they used a mulcher to clear the driveway, I think they used an excavator or something on some of the bigger trees, and then they mulched the smaller trees. So there is kind of a layer of mulch on the ground there, which is nice actually. And there's the site. So from the road, we kind of gradually slope down, very, very gradually. And now we're at the site itself, which, like I said, is 500 or 600 feet deep within the property. So very private. They mulched that area. They left a couple little trees in the middle just kind of for fun and to make things interesting. But they gave you a clear path around the outside so you can pull right through with your truck or trailer, get turned around. There's the power right there. So not only is power available, not only is power on the property, but power is within about 50 feet of your site. So it's pretty ideal. It looks like they left a fringe of trees there between the site and the power line. I assume they did that on purpose, just for maybe a little extra privacy. So in a lot of cases, when you're talking to power companies, they don't like to extend the line unless you're building a full residence. Within the power line, that looks like a little deer stand. So that's going to be on the property. This is part of a much larger tract that was used essentially as a hunt club by just a few guys for several decades, I believe. And they left a lot of deer stands. And I mean, we've just been finding those quite a bit. That's kind of neat to see. Where was I going with the power thing? I can't remember. The power company, we've never spoken to this power company, but having the line right on site means you can get power. And there'll be a pole on the property as well. So, I mean, it's just not that big a deal to get power. But on other projects we've run into, the power company they don't want to extend the line unless you're building a full residence. They don't like to run lines for RVs or campers because the return on the investment is so low for them. In this case, since you do have a pole already on your property, all they have to do is put on a transformer and a meter. So a little different situation here, where you could have power just for your camper or RV if you wanted to do so. So what we've done here is we've drifted a little bit to the west. We wanted to show you that stream, but because this property is heavily wooded, you couldn't see it. So we drifted a little bit west to the tract adjacent to this one to show you the stream where it crosses the power line. So we're, I don't know, 300-400 feet west of this tract 6, but that is the stream. It flows easterly over and across tract 6. So we took a little detour there. We wanted to show you that stream because with the property being as heavily wooded as it is, you just really can't see it from the air when the leaves are on the trees. All right, now we're going back. So as we look northerly, the property sloped down gradually toward the site and the stream. As we cross over the stream, it's going to start sloping up gradually, and then it actually levels out on the north end. So I mean, you've got the potential for hundreds of different sites on this property. Nice and private, goes back from the easement road about 2,000 feet. But it's not a narrow property. It's actually over 300 feet wide. So when you're talking about a wooded property being 300 feet wide, that's going to give you tons of privacy, almost no matter where you put your site. So I believe we're just pretty much right over the north side, and it does look quite level. It can be hard to see with the drone, but that looks pretty darn level. Kind of checking out the area here. The deer hunting, the turkey hunting, phenomenal. The fact that this has power and that extremely private site and the long driveway, I mean, that's just awesome. If you had to hire someone to come in and do a site like that, I mean, you'd be well into, several $1,000s by the time they got it done. Running a mulcher is insanely expensive, it turns out. But it tends to give a nice finished product, and that's what they kind of got on this site. I say finished product. The site is, we would say, roughed in. We had no problem pulling in and out in our truck. But you want to use a little caution because the mulcher can leave these little nubs, and until they kind of dry and break off or whatnot, there's a chance it could go through the sidewall of your tires if you just have street tires on. If you're driving an actual truck, then you're probably fine because those generally don't come with street tires. SUV might be okay. Just use caution when you're out there. Okay, so headed back southerly, there's the power line, which means we're pretty close to the site. There's that little deer stand. Kind of a neat bonus, I guess, on the property. Location, phenomenal. Only about 5 miles from the White Ranch Conservation Area. A minute ago, it looked like you could see a different site off in the distance. That's probably on a different tract. But again, I mean, with a wooded property like this, I mean, you can only see 30 or 40 feet through the woods generally. So you've got privacy almost everywhere you turn. So the conservation area within about 5 miles, that's 5,000 or 6,000 acres of public land that you can generally hunt and camp. And it's got a river running through it. It's got the Spring River running through it. It's for fishing and swimming and all that good stuff. There's a public shooting range within the conservation area, which is really cool. You can just walk right up and, sight in your rifle or shoot your pistol or whatever you want to do. It's pretty cool. Awesome area. 20 miles south of West Plains, Missouri. But we're on the Arkansas side, so the county seat is Salem, Arkansas, which is about 10 miles south of the property. Awesome tract. Love this property. If you have any questions, please let us know.